Hey, champ. So let's have a coffee together and talk about why you're probably feeling anxious, especially in the beginning of your journey towards building something great, something exceptional that the average mind thinks is impossible to even achieve, you know. So I want to give you like a cure that I've been using throughout my journey because all of us feel anxiety, all of us feel fear and doubt because we're human, right? So this isn't to say that we're always gonna feel this for a very long period of time. In fact, in my experience, I've only had them come for a couple of, let's say, hours or maximum a few days and then just fly away. And I found that the best way to cure this is through being impatient with the input and patient with the output. And to give you the best example, as you can see, I'm not wearing a regular shirt right now. I'm in my tank top and I have a sling around me. You can see it here. And you can see my hand is fixed. I cannot move it. I cannot do anything with it. And that's because I just did a surgery 1 week ago in my shoulder, and my hand should stay in this position so that it doesn't move and affect the recovery of my shoulder and mess up everything that they did inside of it, basically. So, because that happened after the surgery, I was in a lot of pain and I couldn't use my hand. So all I did was distract myself with, like some movies and some YouTube videos. I scrolled a lot, and that's because during my times where I'm the least anxious and I'm the most grateful, I'm the most positive person, I don't do these activities. What I do instead is what's called monk modes or dopamine detoxes. You've probably heard of these. And these protocols basically are there to ensure that all I'm doing is focusing my dopamine and my whole energy and attention on what's important, which is right now my business, my health, my relationships, but mainly my business. So I spend most of my time on my business without any distractions around me. And throughout these periods of monk mode and dopamine detox, I felt the most positive because I was impatient with the inputs, as in how much work I put in towards achieving the goal that I want, and patient with the outputs, right? Because I know that if I'm doing my best, if I'm doing everything that I need to move the needle forward, to move the business forward as well, then I'm good. There's no need to worry about anything. But the moment I stop working on what will move the needle further and what will move me closer to my goal, is the moment I start feeling this anxiety come into my mind and my whole body and just dominate me because right now I'm not putting in the work that's needed to get me towards my goal. So that's why when I did the surgery and got distracted with all of these, I was waiting for time to just fly by. And in this process, I was feeling anxious because I wasn't focused on what's important, on what's gonna move me forward. So you can take anxiety as like a sign from the body, as a message that is telling you, hey, you need to get back to work, you need to do what's important. And it's very hard to trick the mind into telling it that you are doing something that will move the needle forward when you're not. So the mind is very smart. It will tell you that, and it's very important to listen to it, or else it will keep on giving you this feeling of anxiety until you get back to doing what's important. So in my case, 1 week later after the operation, and after using this single hand of mine that's paused right now, and the pain and all of these as excuses to not work, I finally got back on track, let's say 3, 4 days after the surgery, and started working and doing everything that's needed, because I was feeling anxious, because I was tired of distracting myself with things that will not move me forward or not move my business forward, right? So So that's the basic cure. Whenever you catch yourself being distracted by things that will not move you and your business forward, then this is the time when you should instantly get back to work, do what's important. And also, the best way you can do this for a long period of time, if it's not weeks, for like months actually, is by setting these monk mode and dopamine detox protocols that will help you stick to this and eliminate all distractions, because that's something I also found out in my journey, is that when I'm at my sharpest following these protocols, if I get distracted once and I say, yeah, no problem, it was just a distraction, I just scrolled for 20 minutes, no problem. And then the next day I scroll for 40 minutes and I ignore this fact, without knowing it, I'm digging a hole myself, reaching closer and closer to the hell feeling, closer to anxiety, closer to the negativity, because those habits kind of accumulate. It starts with 20 minutes and then 40 and then 80 and I used to find myself at the end of the week doing all these distracting activities, all because I allowed for 20 minutes to slip by, and then for 40, and then boom, it goes on like a snowball effect. So always be cautious of what you do and what you let into your life, because every time you let in a distraction, you become more vulnerable to letting it come in again and again and more and more and more, basically. And I think this is how addictions happen. People start by saying, yeah, I'll try this once. They try it once, and then they say, yeah, I'm not addicted to it, but I'm gonna try it again. Then they try it twice, then three times, and then every time they try it, they want to increase the dose to get more thrill, to get more dopamine. And so it continues in a negative flywheel effect where you end up at a worse position than you were before. So to summarize everything we've talked about in this coffee time here, you need to know why it's happening. And most of the time it's because you're trying to build something great and you're trying to move forward to get yourself to achieve this thing, but you feel anxious when you stop and you get distracted. You're on this one path, and instead of walking the straight path, even though it's hard, you start going like sideways instead of going straight. So when you start going sideways is when you start feeling anxiety. And the sooner you get back on track and continue moving towards your goals is when this anxiety goes away. As simple as that. Be impatient with all of the activities you do that will bring you closer to this goal, and patient with the results, with the output that you will receive, that you're aiming for, because goals, especially big ones, take a lot of time to achieve, and that's the nature of things. So you need to be patient with those, but impatient with the work that will get you there. Okay, and also whenever you catch yourself getting distracted with anything, whether it's scrolling, whether it's watching YouTube or content, or watching a series, or I don't know, doing any of the bad habits that your mind is telling you right now, this is a bad habit, so stop doing it. Whenever you catch yourself doing these, especially when you're in seasons of full focus on your mission, on your goals, instantly try and get back on track and eliminate those distractions. Because if you do it once, it's okay, but if you do it twice and then three times and then four, this is the beginning of something very dangerous that will kind of distract you a lot from your way towards your goals. Okay, so with that being said, ladies and gents, I hope you found value in it. To me, it's a very important concept that I've learned through experience. And if you can take this concept and apply it without the damage that occur from not following it, then that's amazing. You've already gained value from what we've talked about today. You've already executed on it. So with that being said, I hope to see you in the next one. If you like this video, feel free to watch the next one. Cheers.